Hey everyone, this is Tpan here. Wanted to quickly talk about why your traumatizing experiences can be a blessing or a curse. Here's a little story about myself. So I'm going to quickly go back into 2020/2021. So 2020 in June, one of my cousins passed away. He took his own life, right? So of course that was a really traumatizing experience for me because he's 1 year older than me. So that really took like a hit to my mental health. On top of that, like there's a couple of things that happened throughout that year, and that's when I noticed like I was starting to act a little bit differently. I was sleeping a lot more, meaning like literally 14 to 16 hour days. Even though I had to work a couple of times here and there throughout the months, I pretty much didn't want to go to work at all because I took a year off of school because I didn't want to deal with university online. That was my first year of university, but I literally dropped out within the first week and a half because I didn't want to deal with any of it. I was super fed up, and it was a crazy experience because it led me to really, I guess, be in a depressive state, meaning I was depressed, right? And literally, I'll say, yeah, sleeping 14 to 16 hours is like, I literally took Tylenol, which is like I guess a painkiller. It is a painkiller, I'm pretty sure, for headaches pretty much, right? And I pretty much just literally used it even though I didn't have headaches throughout each day here and there because I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want it to, be awake during that time period, right? It was pretty messed up. And right now I'm being vulnerable, so of course I'm going to be like all over the place when it comes to this story because I'm not really someone to share. I'm not really the type of person to share these vulnerable stories with anyone. Of course, I want to be authentic with all of you guys who are watching. So yeah, and then when 2021 rolled around, February, I would say end of January actually, that's when I went to the hospital for a kidney disease, right? I forgot the specific name, but of course right now everything's all fine. I got it taken care of. But that really messed me up too because I was at the hospital for I think 10 days or 11 days just by myself. And throughout this whole time, I literally cut off everyone, meaning I cut off a good amount of people in my life who I used to hang out with, right, a lot. And, of course, that was one of the best decisions ever because if I did continue to hang out with those types of guys, I would have never got into this position in life, right? It's all thanks to, like, all these decisions I made. And, of course, you have to go through the storm. There's always going to be highs and lows in life, and you have to experience them no matter what. If you want to grow as an individual, if you want to get to the next level in life, you have to get hit in the storm no matter what, right? And when I got out of the hospital, of course, I did a kidney biopsy too, so I pretty much couldn't do anything for like a month. Of course, I try to be as active as I can, but during that time period, when I got out, I vowed to myself, I promised myself that I'm going to make sure I change my life. I'm going to make sure that I eat more clean. I'm going to make sure I hit the gym. I'm going to make sure I take my life seriously, right? Because that really messed me up in a way where like it was a blessing because I got out of the situation. I was super grateful, and honestly, I felt like before I went to the hospital on that specific day, I felt like I wasn't going to make it that specific day because I had a dream. It felt like, I remember vividly, I think it was like someone was bringing me to like the darkness or whatever, right? And of course I refused and all that, but it felt like my life was gonna get taken in a way. I don't know how to really explain it. I remember vividly now. It literally just popped up in my mind. I'm like, damn, I remember that. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. And in 2021, of course, I was taking these medications. I was at a point where I was taking 16 pills each day for a good month or two. And of course, I was getting tapered down, and then it went down to 1 pill, right? And I took that 1 pill until 2023, I would say September or October. And of course, I'm finally off of it. I'm grateful for that. They're still checking everything, seeing if everything's good. If I truly could get off of it, I'm still waiting for my results and all of that. But honestly, throughout that time, there's also another traumatizing experience where I lost balance twice. Literally, imagine So my medication was messed, even though I spoke to my doctor about it, saying I couldn't really, like, I was getting a lot of cramps throughout the day. Even at night, I woke up, I was getting nasty cramps, meaning I literally had to walk it off. I literally, there's a couple times where I was just showering and I randomly get a cramp, and it was crazy. It was difficult to navigate and, you know, like, just really get myself to walk properly, right? So I lost balance twice, meaning literally I got a cramp one night and I fell off. I fell onto my ass pretty much. And I was like, holy, because I couldn't literally get up for 10 seconds. I felt like I lost every movement in my legs, and that really, really shook me. That's when I started to take it seriously. I was like, okay, I need to get my life together, actually, because I cannot lose my ability to walk. Right? And that's what I'm super grateful for. I'm always telling people you have to be grateful for every single moment each day. You gotta be grateful for the food you're eating. You gotta be grateful for waking up every single day. You gotta be grateful for, like, the house, the roof over your head, right? All of that. Gratitude is my attitude. That's something I always tell people too. Be grateful every single moment. Be in the present moment too. And there's another time where I lost balance, of course, but fast forward, I also literally was having trouble like using my hands. Like, my hands would literally shake. There's a time period back in 2020, like I would say after August, I was completely done with like technology. I was so turned off. That was the time when I was starting to sleep more, and I wouldn't touch my phone. I would say I probably touched my phone for a minute max in like each day, right? If I have to, like, you know, respond to someone like important, right? But realistically, I didn't even touch my phone. And after a while, when I was taking those medications, of course, like during that time period, I was traumatized too. I don't know exactly 100%. Well, I do know 100% why. That's like another topic I'll talk about later on. But eventually, when I took those medications and I tried using my phone, my hands would be shaking to the point where, like, I couldn't use my phone for at least a minute. It was hard to literally touch an app or like navigate on my phone, right? So it took me a while to really be able to use my hands again in a way. Even writing, it was like I was okay with writing with the pen or pencil, but it was kind of difficult at the same time. So that made me realize, like, I gotta be grateful for everything, because I pretty much experienced like highs and lows with my hands and my legs, right? And that's what I'm telling you, like, traumatizing experiences can be a blessing or a curse. And in my case, it was a blessing because it made me realize so many things in life. It made me realize that, you know, you got to be grateful for every moment, because, you know, this life is not a joke at all. But yeah, after when I got out and I made that promise, it led me into self-improvement, right? That's when I started in 2021 exactly. I would say end of June or July, one of those months. I can't remember exactly, but that's when I started hitting the gym. I was in the gym back in 2020 March just for a couple of days because, you know, of course, the whole thing started. I couldn't hit the gym during that time, the lockdown and all that, right? And once 2021 rolled around, I started being serious with meditation. I started to read a lot more. And right now I have like 55 plus books on my bookshelf. And it's crazy how much knowledge I have and how much I'm about to share with all of you guys throughout the videos. But another thing is, I was taking exercising, like working out very, very seriously. I was working out 6 times per week. All right. That's how crazy interested and invested I was when it came to working out, right? On top of that, I was journaling every single day. I was trying to learn a skill. Of course, like, I was all over the place at the first couple of months. Right now, I'm a programmer. I'm still trying to learn how to code properly, trying to learn how to problem solve a lot more properly and efficiently, right? And yeah, those are things I took seriously, and it led me to, you know, just improve every single day, have that mindset where, like, I don't want to be average. I don't want to be behind in life, because I lost a lot of time compared to other people. You know, even though a lot of people would have been like gaming, partying, or whatever the case is, like, I still lost that time. I still look back, like, I could have worked. I could have like done so much more. And I was on like self-improvement here and there, like back in 2019 / beginning of 2020, where I journaled here and there. I started journaling in 2019, started to exercise more, like jump rope in 2019 too, right? Actually 2018, and like I would say summer 2018, I started jump roping, and I did it consistently throughout 2019 and beginning of 2020, but I stopped all of that after that whole event. And yeah, like that's when I took it seriously. 2021 summer, I started to work out, I started to eat clean, I started to just feel much better. It's because, you know, your habits really dictate where you're heading towards in life. If you want to stay as a bum, if you want to lose in life, play video games, watch inappropriate content, slack off, you know, smoke or whatever the case is, right? But if you want to win, you got to cut off all of those habits. You got to program your mind to think you're already successful. Stop saying you're broke, say you're rich, all right? You got to be confident. You're already a confident person. You're already a charismatic person. You have to keep telling yourself. For example, you have to program your mind with these beliefs in place already, okay? You have to consciously be telling yourself that you're a confident person, you're a charismatic person, you're a leader every single day to a point where it's just subconsciously in your mind already, right? And that's going to take time. I'm telling you, that does not come easy at all. You always have to tell yourself every single day that you're a certain thing, right? Or a certain someone, I meant. Like you're a confident person or whatever the case is. Whatever you think you want to become, right? Or who you want to become. Another thing is, I started to heal in 2021/2022 because I started to realize I have traumatizing experiences that were holding me back. I started to realize that if I don't take care of this, then I'm going to mess up in life, right? And here's a book that I would recommend anyone to read. Literally, it's one of my favorite books that helped me. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what's in it, but it's a very, very good book that helped me a lot. It's how to do the work. If you guys can see this. Very, very good book. I would recommend this to anyone who wants to recognize their patterns, heal from their past, plus create yourself. And here's the back. Another book I got in 2021 December. Really good book. This helped me too a lot. So it's Untethered Soul. The Journey Beyond Yourself. Really, really nice. I would read something from my book that I made a note, right? This is the first chapter. I make notes on certain chapters that I really enjoy. So this is about, okay, that specific book, The Untethered Soul, is about how to be present in the moment, how to heal yourself, how to really let go of certain things in life. And this is the voice inside your head. This is chapter 1. Have you ever wondered about the voice inside your head? Why it talks, when it knows when to talk? You have to take a step back to truly examine it. You have to probably notice it takes both sides of your conversation. The voice never quiets down, even when you're about to go to sleep. If you look at this objectively, you see that it takes whatever side it's comfortable with and sides with it, but it still continues. It's obviously not you, because you can hear it. There is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of your mind, of the mind. You are the one who is aware of it. Eventually, you will see that the real cause of problems is not life itself. It's the commotion the mind makes about life that really causes problems. So take a moment to examine the difference between your experience of the outside world and your interactions with the mental world. All right. And then this is chapter 2. These are a couple notes I'll be reading. So this is called The Inner Roommate. That's chapter 2. You're truly ready to grow as a person when you realize the voice inside in your head is never at peace. If you're wise enough, then you know that you'll always have another problem after you solve one. When you have a problem, ask yourself, what part of me is being disturbed by this? Not what should I do about this? This will help to figure out what inside is causing you to feel like this. It will become clear that you are not the problem, the difference between a worthy person and a spiritual person. To obtain true inner freedom, you must be able to objectively watch your problems instead of being lost in them. Everyone knows that you can't deal with problems when you're afraid, anxious, or angry about it. When you get it clearly, the first step is to deal with that part of you, two distinct aspects of your inner being. Once you see that the voice can ruin your life, you're ready for spiritual growth. The question is, how do you get rid of this inner troublemaker? Right? And then this is chapter 3, the last chapter I'll be reading to anyone right now, right? So, okay. I just want to quickly see where I could start and end it off. So you're the one who's inside looking at the world. Fine. So I'm not anything in the outside world, and I'm not the emotions. These outer and inner objects come and go, and I experience them. Plus, I'm not the thoughts. They can be quiet or nosy, happy or sad. Who am I? If you go deep, that is where you live. You live in the seat of consciousness. A true spiritual being lives there, without effort and without intent. Right? And this is exactly why I love that book. It really teaches you exactly about your inner voice, how to get rid of it, how to calm it down, how to be in the present moment, how to really deal with other things in life too, right? Because it really teaches you a lot. I'll quickly talk about a few chapters that really sparked my interest. And like, it talks about experiencing energy, what energy is, the secrets of the spiritual heart, transcending to the tendency to close. It's about opening your heart too, because I was a very heartless person / cold-hearted person throughout the years, and it taught me a lot of things. I want to reread this book soon because I feel like I have my heart closed at certain like areas and like to certain people. And I definitely want to open it up. I definitely want things to flow through. I definitely want to live life in the present moment more. And yeah. And I recommend everyone to start reading these books. It's really knowledge. Like, you'll gain so much knowledge. You'll start to appreciate what books have to offer you, right? The amount of wisdom you can gain from these books is incredible. And another thing is, if you want to change up your whole life, you have to start to create these habits. For example, start to journal more often. Start to read for more knowledge. Start to meditate for mental clarity, right? Start to work out consistently to feel better. Start to eat clean too. What you eat is important because it will dictate how you'll feel the next day or the next few days and how you will act, okay? If you feel like terrible right now, if you feel like shit, it's probably because you ate something bad. It's probably because you keep eating junk food or the habits you have right now, right? If you're constantly just playing video games, of course you're going to feel like shit. If you're constantly eating junk food, of course you're going to feel like shit. Change up all of your habits, right? I'm not completely telling yourself to cut those habits out, right? But you have to understand that you have to start to practice these good habits if you want to live a proper lifestyle, if you want to live a healthy lifestyle. Another thing is, it's a blessing because your perceptions or perspectives on obstacles is important, okay? Also, another thing is, these traumatizing experiences is a blessing because it's all about your perspective or your perception of those obstacles. And if you have a positive mindset, you could easily crush any of those obstacles. You could easily get through all those obstacles, okay? So here's a little thing I want to read to you guys. I think this is a book from The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, one of my favorites too. It's a classic for me at least. So the perceiving eye is weak. The observing eye is strong. The observing eye sees simply what is there. The perceiving eye sees more than what is there. The observing eye sees events, clear distractions, exaggerations, and misconceptions. The perceiving eye sees insurmountable obstacles or major setbacks or even just issues. This is from another book. Alter your perspective. Man does not simply exist, but always decides what his existence will be, what he will become the next moment by the same taken. Every human being has the freedom to change any instant. Perspective is everything, all right? I always tell people that perspective is everything. It's how you perceive things. If you think a certain situation is not going your way, try to change up your perspective in life and try to figure out a whole different perspective because it's going to help you out. It's going to help you tackle those obstacles. All right? So the thing is, anyone could lose their mind if any of this happens, right? Like all these traumatizing experiences. For example, another story is that in 2022, imagine this. All right? This is why I tell people that traumatizing experiences could be a blessing or a curse. Okay? So imagine waking up and knowing that your mom is slowly losing her mobility, because I saw that, right? So we had to call the ambulance. Of course, they had to pick my mom up. I went through to the hospital and pretty much like I saw her lose her mobility from toe to neck in a day and a half, and she got this condition called GBS, right? Guillain-Barré syndrome. So, and of course her variation was very, very rare. And I just saw her lose her mobility, go straight into the ICU room and be on life support in a day and a half back in 2022, right? And throughout that time, I didn't tell anyone except for one person. And I specifically told him, don't tell anyone because I don't want anyone else to know, right? Which he understood why. And throughout the time, I was like slowly just telling other people because like I had to, right? Eventually, I was going to catch up. And it made me realize so much about life, like how to handle these situations, because I was at the hospital for like the first 2 months doing like 6 to 10 hour shifts, right? Trying to take care of my mom, trying to like see if she's okay. Of course, she couldn't talk for the first couple months, which was like crazy because I was just sitting there just trying to like see what I could do, right? And it made me realize so many things. And throughout the time, I was like, my heart was getting colder each day. I would tell myself every single day that, you know, I'm a cold-hearted person, right? I went every day to the gym telling myself that every single, like, the first 10 minutes of me going to the gym, because it's just something I didn't want to experience, right? And it made me realize so many things throughout the time, how I placed these limiting beliefs on myself, and it closed my heart off, and it closed a lot of opportunities for me. And I really had to fix myself up back in like in this year, right? I learned so much more about myself this year. I met so many new people. I've gotten more opportunities. I started to learn a lot more. I started to really see more growth in myself, which I'm grateful for. But like I'm saying, all of these experiences could be traumatizing, but it could be a blessing or a curse. It really depends on how you want to deal with these scenarios, how you want to deal with these situations. Do you want to view them as cursings or curses, or you want to view them as blessings? All right. And of course, I want to quickly talk about how, like, I met someone special this year, and I'm super, super grateful. Like, I don't think she knows how much I'm grateful for her, but every single like day, I'm like, damn, like she's helping me change into a better person. And without her, I think I would have been way more colder. So yeah, I'm trying my best to always improve myself. I'm always trying to like become a better person, because I definitely lost myself in a way where like I don't have a big heart like I did back then. I'm more blunt with so many people these days. I'm slightly rude here and there when it comes to people overstepping my boundaries, when it comes to when people are always like taking me for granted, which makes sense exactly why I should be rude. But of course, I don't want to be rude to anyone. I don't want them to see myself like that, or see me act like that to other people. I want to have a good character. I want to have good character traits. I want to have all of those morals, good morals and values in place. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a little story about myself and how traumatizing experiences can be a blessing or curse. And like I was saying, anyone could benefit from those types of scenarios. Anyone could view them as a blessing. It really depends on how you want to view them, right? Here are a few books that has helped me tremendously throughout the years. So the first one this is a classic. I really think everyone should read this, How to Win Friends and Influence People. A great book for communicating with other people. And just like whatever, okay, listen, for each chapter, once you read it, implement it, go outside in the real world and implement it in person. You'll start to understand that once you start reading these books and you start implementing everything, you'll start to see your life drastically change. And this book has tremendously helped me to improve my communication skills. I would say after 2020, my communication was terrible. I stopped talking to people. I was not like a talkative person after that, right? And it took me so many freaking years to get back on my feet. It was actually terrible, honestly. And yeah, like it took me years to get back on my feet. I think that like it was hard. Like I had so much social anxiety because I never spoke to anyone back in 2020 after September, and like I barely did, right? I might have spoken to people here and there, but it was barely anyone. Another book is Psycho-Cybernetics, one of my favorites too. It's To Destroy Limiting Beliefs. So this helps you to improve your self-image, learn to use your positive past, set and achieve worthwhile goals, deep compassion, self-respect, and forgiveness. Cultivate the power of rational thinking. Discover the key to a happier, more successful life. This is for anyone who wants to really, really improve themselves and change up their self-image and start putting more like new beliefs in themselves, right? And getting rid of limiting beliefs. Another one is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This is a great mindset book. I'm pretty sure you guys know who David Goggins is, right? It's so self-explanatory. This guy is one of like, I look up to this person because after reading his story, it just made me realize like the things he went through are 10 times more like crazier than my stuff, right? And if he got through certain things and he became who he is right now, then I can, right? Anyone could change. Anyone could change. It really depends on what your mindset's like right now, okay? So my main message here is to focus on yourselves every single day, no matter what. Even if you're getting hit left and right in the storm, there's always going to be highs and lows. Whatever you're feeling right now is just temporary. You got to look at it as a long-term perspective. Imagine doing all these things. In the long-term perspective, you're going to be living a better lifestyle. So right now, what you're feeling is just temporary. And of course, you're going to feel sad, depressed, whatever the case is, anxious, right? But if you're able to push through all of those situations, obstacles, and get past them, you're definitely going to live a better life. Just remember to take it easy and everything will be fine.